I'll check it out.
Thanks.
Oh, now we're live. You might want to plug that one more time. That's Tales from the Crypto for everyone just joining us.
That's right. It's on Spotify.
From the Crypto.
Robbie, is that syndicated through Podbean and Google and the other players out there? I'm
actually using Anchor, which Anchor is an affiliate of Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you like that service?
I love it. It's real easy to just plug in some audio. You can actually take a video file and throw it into Anchor, and it'll strip the audio straight off the video file. And then it distributes it to most of the common listening services.
So we got 3 of them. There's one by Jed Mahu, Andrei Romanoff, and Tony Casanova. Interesting. Don't know if you can see it now. You can't see it because of the blur. I'll send you a screenshot.
Okay, let's before we get started, since you guys are here and there's more people that'll probably be joining us, and let's go in the room real quick, introduce ourselves, share what your business is, so we get your business a plug, and then we're gonna get started. So let's start off with Christina.
As right now, I am doing custom-made tumblers. I actually have a couple of them that I have made. This one's actually finished. And then I do pretty much any custom ones, but there's like little butterflies, shaped glitter.
Oh, I just had an idea for you that I am saving for later in the show. Oh my God, it was a lightning bolt. Okay, I'm saving it.
All right. But that's what I do. I make custom tumblers.
So from what I understand and talking to your mother, you are now back ordered. So you got too much demand now.
I don't have too much. I did decide to buy more tumbler turners. So now I can make 5, 6, 7 tumblers at a time.
Nice. Increased production, baby.
Yep.
Good. I like it. Awesome. All right, Alex.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex Mischuk, commercial insurance broker from Inner West Insurance Services. I love to help all types of business owners with any questions they have, regardless if it's pertaining to insurance or not. I want to be a resource for my clients and for my prospects. And I'm just trying to build my name in the community and meet as many people as I can. Commercial insurance, it's more than just coverage.
Awesome. Welcome to the call. Mr. Allan Reeves.
Good evening, all. My name is Allan Reeves. I own a few companies. The focus that I focus on here is identity protection and servicing. We have a national brand at shieldiq.com, also shieldiqradio.com. We also have another brand called Prevarious, and that is where we make white label and co-branded identity theft solutions, credit monitoring solutions, and dark web monitoring for all kinds of entities, credit repair companies, security companies, you name it.
Awesome. And kind of an update, I guess, Ruth, while she's making calls for you today, survey calls that she's going to be doing for Robbie, she's going to be doing for Ben. She already uncovered 2 opportunities for Shield IQ for you. So she's going to send those over.
Outstanding. Thank you, sir.
He was like, wow, you started closing deals. I like that.
He's already closing deals. I love it.
Love it. Robbie.
Hey guys, my name's Robbie Cheney. I have a few businesses of my own. Today, though, I am here representing Bridge Coffee Company, a local coffee roaster just north of Sacramento. And hello.
And Shirley.
everyone. I'm Shirley Singer, and I'm with Heartland Payments, and I am merchant services and more. So Heartland is a point of sale, payments, and payroll solution, a choice for entrepreneurs that need human-centered technology to sell more, keep customers coming back, and spend less time in the back office. And we serve over 1 million businesses that trust us to guide them through market changes and technology changes so they can stay competitive and focus on building remarkable businesses instead of managing the daily grind. I am Shirley Singer with Heartland Payments.
Awesome. Welcome. I just recently switched all my merchant services to Shirley, and I'm like, still got my other service in place. I'm kind of on the fence, but I made a transaction. I was like, this worked out good. I got my little card reader in the mail, swiped my own card because I had to. I just had to get the experience. And that was probably the easiest transition of merchant services I've ever gone through in my life. Not to mention saving, almost 1%. So thank you. Real quick, hold on just a sec, Alex. Let me introduce Ben real quick. Ben, tell us about you and your business.
Hey, hello everybody. I'm Ben Bautista with Scrap Monkey Property Services out here in Yuba City, California. We handle junk removal, property cleanups, exterior cleaning like gutter cleaning, solar panel cleaning, house washing, pressure washing. We make your junk vanish and make your property shine.
Awesome. Welcome to the call. Yeah, we just finished putting together 3 different packages that we're going to take to the market, man. So if you know anybody in the Yuba City area, man, we got some good packages going on that we're getting ready to launch on that entire market there. So cool deal. Welcome to the call. Alex, you had a question?
Yeah, it was a question for Shirley in regards to payment. Is your guys' ACH like instant, or is that up to the bank? Does that always take 3 or 4 days? ACH transactions.
That is a great question. So we have an entire e-commerce department. There are several divisions within Heartland, and I have e-com partners that I deal with. So I usually refer over to them and let them handle the details. And so I can't give you a straight answer on that. I know that we have one of the best ACH processes, both just in getting these from point A to point B and then price wise as well. So I'm happy to get back to you on that exact question. That's a great question.
Thank you so much. Got it.
And are you referring to ACH or debit card or credit card, Alex?
I'm referring to ACH.
Right, cool.
I ran into an issue with someone on this call.
My account the next day.
I ran into an issue with someone on this call actually yesterday where the ACH didn't go through the first time. We processed it again and it took too long. Benjamin Bautista right here is one of my newest clients. So it's good to see him on the call. And
awesome.
that's what happened. It's been fresh in my mind. I was thinking about Shirley the whole time when this was going on. I was like, I wonder if Shirley has a solution for this, because it took long for us to find out that it didn't go through the first time. So it was a problem that's been fresh.
It's a great question. So I have clients on ACH.
Why don't you guys share your contact info in the chat window so everybody has you guys' contact info, and then we'll get rocking and rolling here. All right, welcome everybody to this week's edition of the Small Business Owners Mastermind Call. My name is John Pyre, the business doctor, your host. Got my co-host here, Allan Reeves. Allan, say hi with Shield. Who do you want to represent today? Shield IQ, Mouse Calls, all of the above. What's your pleasure, dude?
Let's go with Shield IQ.
All right, fantastic. So Allan, we're talking about your favorite subject here, dude. So this is marketing. This is our first Thursday call. We always talk about marketing. Then next week we're talking about sales. Then we're talking about service and product delivery on the 3rd Thursday, and then finally administrative on the 4th Thursday. And so, this is one of those calls where I'm going to hand this over to you, my friend, because you are a machine when it comes to marketing. What are some of the ideas that you have that you would like to share with the audience about marketing?
Well, one thing that I picked up on when I started my first business a little over 24 years ago was that sometimes every once in a great while you get these little lightning bolts. And for me, it happens at really oddball times. I don't do traditional meditation. I know that that's in John's wheelhouse. He's got his 4 a.m. schedule set up. It doesn't work well for me. Whether I'm ADD or what, my brain's just too active. It's hard for me to sit down and do that, but I do go for long hikes. I like most people on this call, I hope I shower regularly. When I'm by myself, when I have time to process, have time to think, sometimes things just hit, and maybe they're not spot on the first time. But you never know until you try it and you fail, and then you figure out what went wrong and you do it again a slightly different way. The best example that I can give you is the lightning bolt that I had just a little bit ago about Christina. And I have no idea if this is even feasible, but roll with me a minute. So Christina makes tumblers, and she mentioned a moment ago, custom tumblers, right? So Christina, if you have one of those within reach, just that custom one you showed us a minute ago, hold that up, if you will. Okay. So if you don't mind unmuting yourself and tell us exactly what we're looking at here. Right? Who did this? Who did this artwork?
I did.
Okay.
I go through Cricut Design Space, and I got the images through there, but I had to actually go through and edit each one and individually do like the colors on them, as far as like the flowers. The butterflies and the bees are actually their glitter shapes, so I bought those and put them on there. And then the glitter background, I did that as well. They're just obviously they're 3 separate colors.
So let me ask you a question. If
Yes.
if a child, say 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, brings home a drawing that they did at school, or they just doodled something at home,
Mhm.
would you have the capability to convert that into a tumbler?
I've tried it before. I've only done it once, but that was with like a JPEG image. But I'm assuming I could probably scan it on my printer, upload it onto my computer, and try to figure it out that way.
So how cool would it be if you could go to parents or parent organizations, parent teacher groups, in like here in Nashville, Tennessee, we have NashvilleParent.com, which is a magazine publication, and basically say, look, we can forever commemorate your child's artwork in the form of a tumbler. It's sealed in plastic. It'll last 20 years. It's dishwasher safe. And this is something, it'd be a great gift for the grandparents. It would be just something to, a keepsake, for example. Like when my kids were in preschool, they designed these little plates, and one of them is still around. The other one just happened to be dropped and broken, but hey, things happen. In any case, that might be a niche. That might be something that you could do that would add a lot of value, and everybody would want that. Every parent wants every keepsake of their kids they can imagine. So that's just, it's an idea. It's something that, obviously out of the box may not work immediately, but it could be something to pursue. Marketing is no more than planting seeds that lead to sales. That is in essence what it is. What is sales? What is the definition of sales? It's educating someone up on what they don't necessarily know that they need or that they want. Marketing is putting an image out there that gets their attention. Like, whoa, hey, maybe this is something. Maybe this is something that that strikes my fancy, or maybe this is something I would be interested in, or maybe this is something that I've got to have. With my technology company, word of mouth was always so incredibly critical. And when you do a great job at what you do, that is the first best organic marketing that you can absolutely have. People talking about you, people spreading that knowledge, spreading that word. And that's actually something that's measurable. When you're just starting out, it's not as meaningful, it's not as impactful. But let me ask the audience this. How many of you, and you can just raise your hand on the screen, how many of you have ever heard of the Net Promoter Score? Robbie, John, okay. So I'm sure you've seen this, whether you knew what it was or not. Have you ever encountered a survey, whether after you bought something or after you've done something online, and it's a scale of 1 to 10? Please rate your experience with us. Now, that is a net promoter measurement. It's called NPS. And basically what it's looking for is the percentage of people that rate that a 9 and a 10. And I won't go deep into the metrics of how that's measured, but net promoter can be measured from -100 to 100. So you've got a 200-point scale of client satisfaction. And it's not even just client satisfaction, it's client evangelism. Like, how excited are they about what you have given them, about the service you are providing, about the product that you're providing. I was at a lunch meeting provided by a technology vendor yesterday, and they were bragging about their net promoter score, and they should be. It's right around 65, 66. When you hit that number, you're in the same level as Apple, Costco, a lot of really great companies that have certain deliverables. Costco's way up there because you can go, and this happens, you can go buy a live Christmas tree at Costco. Somebody at Costco is going to kill me for saying this. You can buy a live Christmas tree, and then in January, when it's all dried out, you can return it. You can take it back because you're not happy with it anymore. And they will take it. They will refund your money, or they will give you credit, store credit. Not many people do it. Some people do. But that's one thing about Costco is they will take back just about anything, no questions asked. And people love that. So people respond to it. My IT company has a net promoter score that typically ranges between 88 and 92. We measure that every year. And that is one of the biggest feathers in our cap. In technology, that's unheard of. To have that kind of score. And John mentioned Ruth Mudd a little bit ago. Ruth Mudd is a new employee of John. She's been calling our client base, and she started texting yesterday afternoon like, "My gosh, your clients love you." Like, it's like I've never quite seen anything like this in the IT space. And like, we know, we cultivate this. We work hard at this. Well, that is directly tied. That net promoter score is largely tied into marketing, because marketing is the image you are putting out there. And another great example of this is the other day I was presented with an ad online, and I never click on advertisements, but I clicked on this one, and it was for a men's swimsuit, men's swimwear. And it leads me over to a store, and these suits look good. They're good quality. They're cut well. Oh, wow. I look up the reviews of the company that's selling them, and they're abysmal. They're unbelievably awful. Apparently, all this stuff is sourced from China. None of it fits right. It doesn't look anything like it does in the ad, but the ads are good. So the ads mask the true quality of what's out there. Now, they've got to have a budget to be buying these ads. They're making money. And now I can't go to a web page without Google showing me swimsuits from this same company. So they're buying that Google ad space. This stuff is obviously very high margin. It's poor quality. However, they're getting attention. They're getting purchases because of their marketing, because of the image that they're putting out there. So your marketing from your website to, and folks, it goes down to the font that you use. One thing that we did 15 years ago with my tech company, when we overhauled our website, we picked a font to use for our website that would register perfectly fine when people brought it up. It was as close to Apple's font as we could get. Apple used something called Myriad Pro. And we wanted our website not necessarily to scream, hey, we're like Apple, but just kind of plant something in people's minds like, man, you know, this, whether they realize it or not, this looks familiar. This looks quality. This brings credibility. So those small things mean so much. Misspellings, grammatical errors, those mean a lot. And you don't have to get every email just so, right? But if there's something wrong with your email signature, that's part of your marketing. That's part of what you're putting out there. And if you don't have your T's crossed and I's dotted with your image and what you're putting out there as your business, you're in a lot of trouble. You've got to correct that really quick. And one thing I can tell you, and the last thing before I'll roll around, and John, you can tell me, we can take some questions here, or we can have a free form or what have you. When I launched the shieldiq.com website a while back, and anybody listening to the recording can go there, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. ShieldIQ.com is the first iteration of our brand. And I am in the middle of completely overhauling that to look a whole lot more like John Pyron's shirt than what you see at ShieldIQ.com. We were lucky enough to have someone who is very, very high up in marketing at a Fortune 5000 company take some interest and basically lent me his brains for a couple of days. And the problem that they saw with ShieldIQ.com was that it was a sea of red. That the primary color in the logo is red. And red connotes danger. It may not be exactly what people want to see when they're looking for reassurance or peace of mind with their identity protection. So if you go to ShieldIQRadio.com, you will see the overhauled brand, and probably within 48 to 72 hours, what you see at ShieldIQRadio.com will be up at ShieldIQ.com. Basically, the gist of it was they said, what is one of the main thrusts of your value proposition? And without hesitation, it was made in the USA. And I said, okay, that's what you need to focus on. Slightly rebrand. They said, there's nothing wrong with your logo. There's nothing wrong with the shape, the design, or anything like that. But there's too much red. That go with red, white, and blue. They said, don't, and I'm not going into politics here, folks. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to drag me into it. But he said, what you don't want to do is make it look like a Trump rally either. You don't want to alienate half of your audience. It needs to be subtle, but red, white, and blue, made in the USA. It's a made in the USA brand. And that needs to be one of the leading things that you focus on with what you put out there. Bam, like within that first second and a half of people seeing your brand. And now at ShieldIQRadio.com, you'll see that right at the top. You'll see the modified logo with a slightly different color scheme, and you'll see made in the USA. And they're much more pleasing to the eye. Did it cost money to do that? Sure it did. You know, not a crazy amount, but it's a subtle change that broadens the audience and strengthens the value proposition. So these little things, how you put yourself out there, whether it's a tagline, whether it's a color scheme, whether it is testimonials, which are extraordinarily powerful. If you can get testimonials on your website, by all means, get all over that. I don't care if you have a plugin where you have to type them in, or whether it's something that's automated that pulls from Yelp or Google My Business or what have you. That's critical, absolutely critical to your market. And, lastly, I would say that one of the things that you need to do as a business owner, at least while you're small, nascent, growing, and I mean up to the point where even there's different schools of thought on this. When we think about Tesla, who do you think about? Elon, right? To this day, when you think about SpaceX, you think about Elon. When you think about Amazon, you think about Jeff Bezos. Whether you like these folks or not, these are some of the biggest businesses that we have now, and those folks that are at the top are still the face of the business, and they use that to their advantage. When you think of corporations that do not use that to their advantage, let's break that down a little bit. You're dealing with organizations like pull Fidelity Bank, or Citi, or Chase, or Ford Motor Company, or GM. I mean, there's people at the top, but they're not really focused on an accountability or a sort of a community brand. Not at all. They're megaliths, and that's how they put themselves out there. They don't necessarily go with the flow that, hey, this person founded it. This is our culture. This is what we're proud of. And sometimes it works for them. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. But you also probably know that if you do business with those companies and you have an issue, you're probably not going to get the personalized service or attention that you might with a company that's more I'd say people focused, or where there's someone at the top. I mean, let's look at Apple again. Okay, we had Steve Jobs, who was absolutely brilliant. Ever since then, we've had Tim Cook. And whenever Apple has, maybe, I can't say that they've stumbled necessarily since Steve Jobs left. You could argue that their innovation cycle has dropped. But whenever it's time, every September, when Apple rolls out their new products, who's showing them? Who's putting himself out there to say, look what we can do now. Look what we have for you. It's Tim Cook, the man at the top. And there's people connect to that. People connect to it. So you're still there. You're still the face. You're still leading it, and you're still communicating. This is how we're making this better every single day. That actually makes it easier for you to grow and scale your business. I can tell you that from experience, because Robbie, for example, with his coffee shop, if he's got people, and Robbie, forgive me, I don't know, your whole background. So let's just roll with me here. Let's pretend 3-4 years ago, whatever. I'm completely making up this scenario, but let's say you started up and it was only you and maybe one other person. That's all great and dandy. And you made people's drinks the exact way they wanted them. Well, now, as you've gotten bigger and hired people, if there's a variance in those drinks, if there's a variance in the coffee, like, well, Robbie used to make it this way. I really, I want Robbie to make my drink just so. It's hard to scale that. That's where the McDonald's model comes in. You want everything to be uniform. You want everything to be the same. You want your client base to know that even though you're growing, they're going to get the exact same experience that they did when it was just you handing them those coffees, or fixing their computers, or providing their insurance policy. So if you can integrate that messaging into your marketing, that is massive. That's massive. We're still the same folks, and we're still doing it this way. And it's that is something that's priceless, and it's way easier to do with product-based businesses other than service-based businesses. And I've got a knock at the door, and I will be right back.
All right, let's see, got you on mute. So basically, I want to touch on a couple of things that Allan talked about. Number one, Net Promoter Score. So if you don't have one, highly recommend you go check that out. It's not for every industry, but definitely if you're a service-based industry, it works very, very well. Talk about niching. And so I want to bring your attention to, okay, how do you niche? There's a book out there called The One-Page Marketing Plan. And I'll share my screen here. So in this book, there is a section here. Everybody can see my screen? Cool. So he calls it the PVP index. So personal fulfillment. How much do you enjoy dealing with this type of customer, right? Because sometimes we work with peanut in the butt customers, and I've found that working with great customers is a whole lot easier and better. What's the value that your niche brings to the marketplace? Okay, what is the profitability of it? And so the example he gave was a photographer. The photographer that he did this exercise with, okay, that photographer does weddings, photojournalism, corporate photography, and family portraits. So when this person was trying to figure out, okay, what is the niche? What am I going to pour marketing into? You got to have a niche in order to focus marketing. Otherwise, you're all over the place and there's a mixed message. And so after going through this, you're going to rate these 3 different PVPs on a scale of 1 to 10. So what he found is it's not weddings, photojournalism. Now, if you read the book, he thought weddings was the holy grail. But it came down to, after he went through this exercise, family portraits was the holy grail. So as a result, all of his marketing and efforts went towards family portraits because it made him the most money, gave him the most personal satisfaction, and the market was going to pay for it. So if you want to get this book, this is the book right here, One-Page Marketing Plan, Allan Dibb. It's very well done. I really enjoyed the book on audio. And I'm going back through it with Kindle and Audible at the same time. But he's got some really good exercises in there, especially if you're the average you're the typical small business owner, and there's about 30 million small businesses on the planet. Over 90% of them don't know how to do marketing, right? It's a lot easier to get referrals or whatever, but marketing seems to be the last thing that they're like, I got to do marketing now. Well, knowing what I know now, I would have become a marketing expert way sooner. And so here I am in my 7th business, spending an enormous amount of time. That's why I'm on a 4 a.m. schedule, because I got to learn this stuff somehow, some way. But I've been very fascinated with the tweaking of a word, the tweaking of a sentence, the tweaking of this, the tweaking of that, and how much attention that actually gets from people. And which is why Ruth was on board and so forth. The other thing that I would do is what I'm doing with Allan's team right now. I'm doing with Robbie's group, Ben's group, is I said, hey, give me your top 10 to 15 customers that you love the most. That way we can figure out what they say about you, not what you think about you, and we can see what kind of marketing we actually need to go to market with so we don't waste time and energy on any of that. And so as Ruth was going through Allan's stuff today, things like professionalism. We trust them with everything. They get back to us right away. When we call up and we have this, what I would consider, one client said, what I would consider a stupid question, like I should know this, they don't treat me like you should know this, and they just help me out. And yeah, of course I would refer him everywhere. So what we're doing is we're collecting all these testimonials. Okay. And if you saw your email today, Ruth did a tremendous job. She gets some bullet points. And then what she does is she puts it in a quote and she sent it to the person and said, hey, can we use this in our marketing? The person goes, yep, you can absolutely use it in your marketing. You can refer anybody you want to me. And so now we've got all these quotes that we're going to be using in marketing. So every single one of you, whether you're on the live call or the recording, start there. It's like I can't wait to get the results of her calls on Ben's clients tomorrow, and as well as Robbie's, because it's going to give us all the stuff that we need to go and sharpen up our marketing and figure out, okay, what do these people want? Now, so if you're looking for the actual script for that, definitely send me a text at 916-741-0596. All of you on the call, you already have it, I believe. Or if you don't, just text me 916-741-0596. I'll send you all the training on this. Taught this to thousands of people over the years, and it works every single time. Every client I take on, invariably right out of the gate, first 90 days, I do this with them, and invariably we get a bunch of referrals because of the referral system, the marketing gets improved, etc., and it becomes a system over time. I'll give you an example. One of my clients today, I'm not even going to mention who this person is, and they're not on the call, right? Which is cool. I already knew that this person was not going to be on the call, but I gave this strategy to the team about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Could never get anybody to do it. Like, just pick up the phone, man. And so I finally said, get me the list. I'll do it. Picked up the phone, called them up, got 3 people on the line, left voice messages to the other 12. And the 3 people, like, man, they are very professional. They take care of our needs right away. They're conscientious about what it is that we want. They're local. We like to use a local small business. The other thing that I discovered is when it comes time for our annual commercial renewal, we get the notice, but by the time we get around to it, it's already been taken care of. I mean, like, as a business owner, I don't literally have to think about it, and so it was that kind of feedback. The other thing is, I'm like, hey, tell me about your company. So they start telling me about their company. How many employees do you have? Oh, okay, great. So now what I came back with, not only did I get the quotes for this person, and found out clients absolutely love them, but I'm like, hey, did you realize these 3 clients have a combined total of about 600 clients that they could probably introduce you to? Oh my God, that's so great. I'm like, yeah. We could have been doing this 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Now, not to knock that, but if you have a staff, okay, and I want to share this as delicately as I possibly can. But when you're calling an existing client and you're asking them, hey, you know what? Let's just say Robbie. Let's say after the first 90 days I finish up with Bridge, now I'm going to put them through the same thing. I'll call up Robbie, say, hey, we do some enhanced stuff in my market. In fact, I'll say exactly what we say when we're calling on Allan's clients, which is the exact same thing I'm going to say when I call on Robbie's clients and Ben's clients tomorrow, is, hey, I'm working with Robbie over at Bridge. Robbie asked me to give you a call. We're working with them on some marketing stuff. We're going to make some better campaigns, some better email strategies. We're literally going to go to the market and try to find more clients just like you. So when I asked Robbie to give me a list, I said, give me a list of the top 10 to 15 clients that you absolutely love, that if you had 10 or 15 more of them just like it, I mean, the clouds would part, life would be great. And you know what? You're on that list, Joe. Then I paused, and he goes, oh, yeah, hey, great, thanks, man. I go, hey, just real quick, if you're in a position to refer Bridge Coffee Company to a friend or colleague, would you refer them? Yeah, I would. Great. Just say you're talking to the person right now that you're going to refer them to. What would you actually say? Oh, man, I would say this. They always give me about 3 or 4 bullet points. I go, okay, great. Let me repeat back to you. You would say this, and this, right? Yep. Okay. Is there anything else you would add to that? No. Great. So can I put this in a paragraph, send it to you, and if you give me the thumbs up, do I have your permission to use it in my marketing? Yes. You want me to use your first, last name, and your company name so we can drive some traffic to your business? Yeah. Great. hey, you know what? Tell me a little bit about your business. Oh man, we've been in business for 10, 15 years. That's great, man. Congratulations. What's the thing you're most excited about this year? Okay, the reason I'm asking is Robbie and Tim are a part of this national networking organization of business owners. They got a whole ton of resources that they can probably help you out with. Is there any challenges that you have right now? Yeah, and they're going to tell me. Okay. Now, so what I've done here, I've got a quote. I'm going to send it out to him. I'm going to send him a thank you card. And now he's going to be thinking about, what I just said. And so next week, I'm going to call, hey, thanks a lot for getting that email back to me. And I'm really glad that we had a chance to connect, and we're going to use that in our marketing. And I just wanted to show my appreciation and say thank you. I've been authorized by Robbie to send you a gift card of your choice. You want a Starbucks card, an Amazon card? Oh, send me a Starbucks card. Oh, okay, great. Hey, while I got you on the phone, it's almost like a Columbo approach. While I got you on the phone, okay, you mentioned last week that if you were in a position to refer Bridge to a friend or colleague, you would. By chance, who'd you have in mind? And they're going to tell me. Oh, I don't know. Well, if you did know, who would it be? It's amazing how all of a sudden they tell me somebody, right? So that's how we're going to get referrals. Now, the only reason I'm saying this is when I talked to my other client this afternoon that I gave the idea to about a year and a half ago, I go, this is not a sales call, okay? Every single one of your employees should be given 5 customers every day. And they have to make this call to those 5 customers within that 8 hours that they're here. And you role play this over and over and over and over and over again until they're comfortable with it. It's not a sales call. This is an existing customer. How can I help you, man? Tell us about us. If you have a staff, I would highly recommend you have your, take your client list, divvy it out, give Joe this, give Mary this, give 5 of these. Your job is to make these 5 calls. It does a couple of things. Number one, your employees are going to hear how great your customers think you are. That's probably the number one benefit here. Your employees are going to go, oh my God, we are great. They love us, and they're going to get the information that you need for marketing. Plus, it's going to train them on things to use when they're thinking about somebody else. Okay. Our employees also are a great source of referrals. And I highly recommend, if you don't have some sort of referral program in place in your company where you have employees, hey, every referral you bring into the company, if they become a client, you're going to give you $25 on your next paycheck or $100 or whatever, right? Because when you're in a company like Robbie has here, Bridge, you have about 13, 14 employees, and they all eat at a restaurant somewhere. They all go to a casino somewhere. They all visit a business somewhere that could be a potential candidate for coffee. And it's a lot easier to go, hey, our employee, Mary, was in your place yesterday, and she gave me your business card, and I want to send you a couple of samples of coffee. Okay. Now, I think it's absolutely, and I'm going to plug Bridge again today, I think it's absolutely genius that you guys took coffee and put it in a tea bag. Okay. So, because I snuck into that bag that you gave my wife, and I took 2 bags out of there. And so I was at the cigar shop yesterday. I go, hey, you got any hot water back there? Yeah. So I dipped this thing. It tastes just like it was just brewed. I was like, I don't know of anybody else that does that. So I'd be getting those out there as fast as possible. But think about marketing from that standpoint. Marketing is about attention. It's all marketing is.
I'm gonna take what you're saying, John. I'm gonna spin that just a second and
go for it.
Tell everybody, again, open your mind. Okay, open your mind, because the way that somebody does it may not quite work for you, but if you tweak it a little bit, it will. So what John's talking about is having your staff call and get the staff involved. There's a guy named Thomas Fox outside of Detroit. He's in a place called Monroe, Michigan. And years and years and years ago, It's an IT company. If I didn't say that, sorry. He made a rule. And basically, he went to his engineers, and folks, IT engineers are typically not people. They're not someone you want to sit down and have a beer with. They're not wired that way most of the time. Tom made a rule and said, look, I'm going to give you guys 100, 200 promo cards. Every single time you roll a truck, every time you go out on a field service call, you do not come back to this office until you have stopped at 5 different businesses and given them a promo card. And if we get a call from one of those businesses that you dropped off a card and we happen to close them as a client, you'll get that $25 or that $50 or whatever it was. You'll get a bonus because what you put out there brought this client in. Well, that started growing a lot of business, and he had to change the rule because what was happening is he would send a guy out on a field call, and 4 or 5 hours later, the guy would come back to the office after spending an hour at this client. Their engineer had gone, made like 75 stops at different businesses in and around the area, dropping off these promo cards. And he had to say, look, hey, no, that's not your job. It's important. We are requiring it, but it's a max of 5 every time. Yeah, you can't, I love what you're doing. I love your enthusiasm, but you no more than 5. So that's a way that he organically grew his business and got his staff enthused about it. It's just a different take on what John was saying. It's a different methodology, but in principle, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, it's all marketing. Literally is just all about getting attention. That's what it comes down to now. I mean, there's a lot more advanced stuff that you can do, but Ben and Robbie know this. It's like both of them have been in business for a long time, and they both have huge client bases. Okay. And so the first thing is like, hey, what should we do in our marketing? I'm like, nothing right now. What do you mean nothing? You want to pay for it, or you want to go find somebody else to pay for it? That's my number one rule. It's like, if I haven't literally done this to my existing client base and gone after them for testimonials and ultimately referrals, then I'm going to start there, because I've been doing this a long time. I've been working with a lot of different business owners, and I can only say maybe 3% since 2014 that I've taken on as a brand new client has done what I'm talking about. Right? But we spend so much time, energy, effort, money on marketing to go out and get a brand new client from scratch when we're sitting literally on a gold mine within our own client base, right? So Ben is getting ready to be like the big recipient of a strategy I ran with Allan Reeves back in 2016. You know, Allan had been in business for a long time, had all these great customers. I'm like, okay, let's make a list of all the stuff that you provide to these people. He did. We created 3 packages called the VIP packages. He put his marketing stuff on it, put some graphic stuff to it. Within 2.5 weeks, sold, I don't know, 285 of them. I mean, it was like you were printing money, you know, but we didn't spend a dime on marketing except for the website enhancement thing, right? Same thing that's going to happen with Ben is we got these nice packages now. We're putting some marketing to it. We're going to go out and make a crap ton of money with our existing clients because now they're all brand new prospects again. We're going to take their money. Then we're going to go hire some marketing stuff and do some SEO and some paid ads. And, you know, I like spending other people's money to grow my business, right? And I was having a conversation with a new friend of mine, Jonathan, yesterday, and I was sitting in the cigar shop. I had the 10X bag, and we're talking, and I just said, man, the best lesson I ever learned. Originally learned it from Robert Kiyosaki, which is if you want something, decide on it, and then go and find a client to pay for it. Grant put it a better way. Wake up every morning and lay out what you want to get accomplished. Write out your goals. Write out your targets that you're going for this year, and then ask yourself this question: who's got my money today? You know, who has my money? And it will keep you. Here's the thing I've discovered, and Allan, you could probably, all of you could jump in on this. I am the happiest and the most confident and the most excited about my future and my business when I know I'm adding new wood to my fire. Okay? When I let 1 or 2 days go by and I haven't generated a new lead, I haven't had a conversation with a conversation with a new person about my business, I start to get edgy. I get nervous. I get there's just something missing, because I just know you never know when that storms are coming, you know? And when you have a big old pipeline, you know, it gives you, that's really the only security that exists as a business owner. It's how effective are we at marketing and generating new leads? And that's what marketing's all about. So we've gone over a lot of stuff today. I've got actually an appointment I got to run to downtown. But for those of you that are on the live call or listening to the recording, I'm going to create a Dropbox. Actually, Allan, what do you think about this? And we're just going to create this on the fly right now. What do you think about creating a 12-person, 6-week mastermind for just marketing?
I'm all over it.
Okay. So we'll talk about it tomorrow. All of you on here are going to, in fact, the ones, I'm going to take a screenshot of this. The ones that are on this, you guys are going to get into this program for half the price. Okay, everybody else, we're just going to take it to the general market. But I think we create 2 or 3 groups. This is the biggest weakness that most small business owners had. If they had somebody just take them step by step through this, you know, it'd be huge. It'd be huge. Once you can learn marketing, you can build any business you want. So, so I'm glad that. See, I just did my survey. Personal fulfillment, I get a lot of personal fulfillment out of it. Value to the market, be very valuable to the market. Is it going to be profitable? Yes, it's going to be profitable. Okay, so I just did a PVP on a new deal. Okay, and you guys are, you know, thanks for the feedback. Appreciate that. So, anyways, go out and make it happen. We're going to have to talk about. Okay, I'm just reading some private messages here. Okay, no other questions. Next week we're going to talk about sales. So bring your A game next week. Okay, that is one thing. I am actually certified master sales trainer. I love training salespeople. I love helping people solve sales problems. Come here next week. Promote it. Bring a guest. Okay, bring somebody that you know. Tell them about this call. The more the merrier. So hope you guys had a great day and a great time here today. Have a great one. Okay.